Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm Jonathan Mead, your host for the Found My Flexibility Challenge. Today is day 4. It's all about the shoulders and the upper back and really helping you unlock a lot of that tension from forward rounding, desk posture, all that nasty stuff that we don't want that's keeping us from really feeling free and good in our bodies. So, as always, making sure we're checking in with our breath, we're feeling our body, we're inhabiting it before we try to change it. So that's number 1, breathing, getting your diaphragm expanding. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what's called swimmers. So for this, you can be seated any way you want. You could be cross-legged, you could be kneeling with your toes under, or your feet down. Doesn't really matter. Just pick a position that's comfortable for you, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna start off with your hands in this YMCA position, right? So everyone remembers this from middle school. When you're here, make sure your ribs are down so they're not flaring out. And from here, I'm just going to hinge at my elbows, bring my hands behind my head, hold, breathe, straighten my elbows. Then I'm going to turn my arms in, so palms facing away from me. Bring my shoulders down into like an upside down Y. And then I'm going to hinge, bring my arms behind me and up as high as I can without my shoulders collapsing forward, okay? So from the side, here, hold, out, rotate, down. And really reaching out long, right, with those fingertips. Making sure you're breathing, making sure your ribs aren't flaring out. So a lot of times what we do, unfortunately, when we're stretching is we kind of unknowingly cheat ourselves out of a stretch because we're not stretching the thing that we think we're stretching. So I can be here and I can think that I'm getting all this shoulder flexibility, but really all I'm doing is moving my spine, okay? So that's why we want to keep those ribs down. So breathe all the air out, get them locked down, and then move from the shoulders. So if that means you have less range of motion and you're out here, that's totally okay. You just want to be honest with where you're stretching so you can get the most benefit from it. All right, the next thing we're going to do is the L stretch. So your butt is going to be seated, knees are bent, going to bring your arms out behind you. Turn your shoulders forward so your elbow pits are screwed into the ground. And you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then you're going to rock your butt forward and back. Okay? Forward. Remember, we're only going 70 to 80% of our max range. We're just knocking on the door of our edge of our flexibility. So I'm going to go through this a few times, making sure I'm still breathing. And I can explore too my range of motion, right? Like, again, staying active in it, not just checking out mentally. We're going to get the most benefit the more engaged we are. Good. And then you're going to hold your end range. Press your hands into the ground. Good. Go ahead and relax. For the next movement, we are going to need something to hang from. So I have these rings set up over here. Totally fine if you don't have rings. If you have a pull-up bar, that's awesome. If you don't have a pull-up bar, you can use the edge of a door frame. You're just not going to put your whole body weight on it, right? Obviously, I don't want you to rip that door frame off. If you don't have that, another thing you can do is just come here right, with my arms kind of clasped this way, and I can just hang out here. And that's going to be really good as well. So if you have something to hang from, go ahead and do that. If not, do this thing and hang out here. What we're trying to do with the hang is really just decompress the spine, okay? So I'm going to grab onto the rings or whatever I'm using, lower myself down. Make sure my ribs are not flared out too, right? So ribs down. And I can bring my legs off the ground too, but what I really want you to do is really spend time in this position. So feel free to put your feet on the ground and just use a little bit of support as well. Really breathing in here, and I can explore, again, my range of motion. So I can turn left into the right, and come forward, back. Really just being active in the position. So that's it for day 4. Tomorrow is day 5, the final day of the challenge. I can't wait to see all the progress that you've been making, and definitely stay tuned because I have a very special offer, very special announcement in day 5 in the final day. So make sure you don't miss out on that. Post your results from today. Use the hashtag, and I will see you tomorrow.